We will discuss the 12 conferences that because we are picking our NCAA field of 65 teams, and we're going to extensively talk about the 12 conferences that will have more than one entry in the NCAA tournament in 2009 that Paul and I predict. And also we're going to have 4 categories for each conference as well. We will have the player of the year, the coach of the year, the rookie of the year, and also the player deserving more pub, meaning that publicity, you know? So anyway, without further ado, first we will go to the ACC. And Paul, 5 teams we got going there. North Carolina, everyone's talking about them winning the national title. Will that happen?
Yeah, time will tell. I mean, they have the most talent, you know, coming back. And they're on paper, they're just absolutely dynamite. They could probably go 2-3 deep at every position, just loaded with McDonald's All-Americans.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's an issue of them keeping their focus and Roy Williams, you know, keeping them, you know, focused on, you know, the Final Four, you know, getting to that goal. So
that's true.
Certainly on paper, they're just phenomenal.
Hopefully they won't turn out like the 94 team. The 94 team when they had everyone coming back from that national title in 93, you know. One thing I like to mention, like, we had, you know, Ty Lawson, Danny Green, Rayshon Terry, all those guys were going for the draft, and they all came back. And then you had Tyler Hansbrough, who didn't even declare, which is interesting.
It is interesting. It kind of reminds me, although North Carolina didn't win a national championship, but the Florida guys all came back for their for their title defense, you know, the second time around. They all came back with Donovan, and we know what they did in their second year together, those guys. And it's an interesting point you made.
Yeah, it's real interesting. And Tyler Hansbrough, we have him as the player of the year because if he stays level, if he doesn't even improve from last year, he's still going to be the most dominant in the ACC. But I want to talk about Wake Forest as a team. I mean, they have major talent in James Johnson, and also the new freshman rookie we have as rookie of the year, Al Farouk Aminu.
Yeah, they have put together a couple of great recruiting classes the last couple of years, and now it's starting to pay off. They've got a lot of great athletes, and it's going to be, I think they can potentially challenge Duke for, you know, maybe second place.
Absolutely.
In the ACC, and don't forget about Miami, but we'll get to them.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely, for sure. Dino Claudio, what a great job he's done, especially with the death of Skip Prosser, which was devastating last year. And this team has really rallied, and I think they still have his memory to heart, that's for sure. And also Jeff Teague is another cat that, you know, he is a great guard, you know, for them.
Oh, yeah,
Solid.
yeah, absolutely. I'm going to make sure to try to catch them whenever they are on, and really I'm really interested in this Wake Forest club.
They go to BYU, and BYU's won 47 straight games at home, so that'll be interesting. Wake going to BYU. But to talk about Miami, Jack McClinton, you know, another solid guard.
Yeah, great vision, court vision. They're extremely athletic. I mean, I really think they're as athletic as anybody. Maybe not quite in that Memphis league, but they can, or North Carolina, but they can really get up and down the floor, and they really defend too. Miami's going to be interesting. Miami probably is not going to sneak up on many people this year.
Oh yeah.
But so people are going to be bringing their A games against Miami, but you know, I expect them to make the tournament and you know, have a, you know, potential Sweet 16 club.
Yeah, absolutely, because they almost beat Texas in the second round last year, and Frank Haith has done a great job. And Virginia Tech, we have them as one of the last teams making it. But this A.D. Fasalo, oh, what a talent he is. I mean, tremendous shooter, tremendous.
Yeah, he's got incredible range. He does deserve more recognition. And Greenberg is just a fantastic coach.
Mm-hmm.
Has an electric personality. He's a great motivator. People love to play for him.
New York guy.
Yeah.
New York guy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely, no question. I'm sorry, yeah, didn't mean to interrupt you there, Paulie. But I'm glad you mentioned Seth Greenberg because I get excited every time, he's talked about because he's very underrated. And that Virginia Tech team, they have a sour taste in their mouth from not making the tournament last year, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he preaches defense, too. Those guys, they get after you defensively.
Wow, and now moving on to the Atlantic 10 Conference. Very interesting conference. 3 teams made it last year. Xavier was one of the class teams making the Elite 8 in the NCAAs and winning over 30 games last season. But I see Temple led by Deontay Christmas and also Fran Dunphy, who's done a tremendous job. Talk about how Temple could dominate the A10.
Yeah, the A10, I don't think it's quite as strong as last year.
Right.
I mean, Rhode Island's not going to be quite as good. UMass isn't going to be quite as good. I think Temple, and like you say, Deontay Christmas, the guy virtually unguardable.
Oh, God. Yeah. He could win his 3rd straight. He could be the first guy in A10 history to win 3 straight scoring titles.
Yeah, I think Temple will win the A10, as you say, and we'll see. I like the Xavier club.
Even though they lost Lavender and Burrell, that backcourt, but Derek Brown and C.J. Anderson, those guys could, they're definitely capable of being honorable mention All-Americans.
Yeah, and they'll defend you. They're not going to back down. They play tough physical defense. Memphis found that out the other day or last night. And they have a nice impact freshman for them, Kenny Freeze.
Yes.
He's from Northeast Ohio area, actually, around Canton area, and he made an impact in that game yesterday.
Yeah, and top 50 guy. And Ahmad Nivens, this guy, I mean, he did some work last year in the A10 tournament, and of course in the NCAAs when St. Joe's made it,
Yeah.
Center.
Now Joe's got really handled by Texas earlier today.
Oh, they did? Ooh.
Yeah.
yeah, they're NIT bound, definitely. But Nivens definitely deserves recognition. Possible second-round pick. I think definitely a second-round pick in the NBA draft.
Oh, he's going to get some looks for sure.